What's up, y'all? Welcome back to my YouTube channel. I'm Kelly Matthews. Today, we're going to sit down, we're going to have a chat. We're going to talk about body recomposition. This is a question that I get so often and that I find myself typing out or doing a voice note to people on Instagram in my DMs, talking about it on my story, that I felt like it would be a good opportunity for me to do a longer form video and really break things down for you guys. There are a lot of influencers that have covered this, but this question comes up time and time again, and I know it can be a confusing subject, so I'm going to do my best to break it down for you. Body recomposition, at its true meaning, is losing body fat and gaining muscle at the same time. A lot of people will say it's not possible to do that. You have to pick one or the other. And that's not entirely true, or it's really not true at all. It can be argued that maybe you should pick one or the other, depending on what kind of population you fall under, what category you fall under. People that are going to be able to experience body recomposition at its most obvious and easiest way are going to be people that are newer to the gym. You've probably heard of newbie gains. And if you're someone that has a fair amount of weight to lose and you haven't done a lot of work in the gym, you're going to find it much easier to gain muscle and lose body fat at the same time. You also have people that are on anabolic steroids. So maybe you'll notice that your favorite influencer has a really easy time getting super shredded and staying really muscular. And sometimes that means that they have some assistance. Nothing wrong with that, as long as they're being transparent and letting people know that that's the reason why they have an easier time doing a body recomp. Also, people that maybe have been out of the gym or out of a routine for a long time could fall under that category of newbie again. Even though you're technically not new to the gym, you may have lost a lot of what you gained initially in the gym. And when you go back in and you start lifting consistently and your diet follows suit, then you're probably going to be able to body recomp fairly easy compared to someone that is more of an intermediate or advanced lifter. Now you know what body recomposition is, and you know the populations that can accomplish it fairly easily. So now I want to address two different populations. First, I want to talk to the beginners. And I want to talk to you guys about things you need to be focusing on if body recomposition is your goal. And then I'm going to talk to the intermediate and advanced lifters and talk to you about what your options are for building muscle and losing body fat. Number one, you need to get into the gym. So if you are a beginner, I know that can be overwhelming. You don't need to bite off more than you can chew. I would suggest getting into the gym about 2 to 3 times per week and get on a strength training program. You want that program to utilize progressive overload. And that means that week over week, month over month, you're going to be lifting heavier weight and you're probably going to be lifting more volume, more sets and reps. That's how you know you're progressing. That's how you know you're making the adaptations that are going to make you stronger and help you build more muscle. Second, you're going to want to do some cardio. Again, it doesn't have to be anything too crazy. Start once to twice per week. You could do your lift and your cardio in the same day. But start with low intensity, steady state cardio. It's the lowest barrier to entry. Start with walks, incline walk on the treadmill, a nice easy bike ride, and have that be a longer duration. It's going to increase your overall activity. It's going to start building your aerobic base, and it's just going to be a good way for you to contribute to your calorie deficit. And that brings me to your nutrition. So in order for us to lose body fat, we need to be taking in less calories than we are expending throughout the day. So for example, if you burn 2,000 calories per day, you're going to need to eat less than 2,000 calories in order to be in a deficit and losing body fat. So what you need to do first is find out where you're at now. Okay, what's your baseline? Tracking is going to be the best way for you to do that. There are a lot of apps and resources that can help you do that. I want to preface that with, if you have ever struggled with an eating disorder or you feel like tracking really isn't good for you mentally, it's not good for your mental health, then you need to make the decision that's best for you. So I make the general recommendation to start off with tracking, and then hopefully eventually you can kind of go off what you learned with that tracking and get a little less strict with it. But without the initial information, it's going to be difficult for you to know where you're at and also to know where you need to go in order to accomplish your goals. So just keep that in mind. You're also going to want to set a protein goal. the general recommendation is 1 gram of protein per pound of body weight per day. That's on the fairly higher end. There are some recommendations that are a little bit lower, but set the bar there. If you don't quite make it every single day, no big deal, but protein is going to be the most important macronutrient for gaining and maintaining as much muscle mass as possible. So we need to be strength training. We need to be eating in a slight calorie deficit. You need to make sure that you are following a progressive overload plan. You also need to make sure that you're prioritizing sleep and recovery and paying attention to those cues. Those are the biggest pieces of advice I have for you in terms of accomplishing body recomposition. And if you are brand new to the gym, if you do all of those things, I promise you, you will see progress. Now, my intermediate and advanced lifters, things start to get more difficult as you get more trained. That's why you see bodybuilders doing a true bulk and a true cut. A bulk is where you eat in a calorie surplus, you train hard, and you try to gain muscle. A cut is going to be when you go into a calorie deficit and you know that you're probably going to not gain as much muscle during that time or even lose a little bit of muscle mass along the way for the sake of getting leaner. Body recomposition becomes an incredibly inefficient way for you to approach your fitness if you are an advanced lifter. Now, a lot of us are just out here living our lives. I have spent my whole training life not cutting or bulking in the true sense, but I've definitely gone through phases where I know that I'm actively eating a little bit more, focusing really on feeding myself, making sure that I have enough food to train hard and, get to my powerlifting competition in a way where I feel well fed and strong. And then I've also gone through periods where I'm, preparing for a big event or I'm preparing for the summer and I feel like I want to lean out a little bit. That's the same concept, but I would call it like bulking and cutting light, where I'm just sort of eating intuitively based on what my goals are at that time. You can decide how strictly you want to approach gaining muscle and losing body fat, but I will say it's going to be a much more efficient process if you choose to do one or the other. So if you're comfortable waiting a longer time for that body recomposition process to work, you can absolutely do that. Okay, you're just going to see progress probably over years versus months. Something I've told many clients, when you set a goal, there are certain sacrifices you're going to have to make in order to accomplish that goal. And sometimes we don't want to make those sacrifices, and that's okay. You just have to be honest with yourself about whether you actually really want that goal or not. And in this case, I think a lot of times for women, it's really difficult to swallow the pill of actually gaining some body fat because culturally we've been taught to be small, be lean, we feel like we look better, that we're more valuable when our body is in that type of state. So when we say, I really want to gain muscle, and then someone mirrors that back to you and says, okay, great. Well, you're going to gain some body fat along the way. And you say, oh, I don't think I want to do that. That's okay. That's when staying closer to maintenance calories and training hard is probably going to be a better option for you. Okay. So you're still going to be gaining muscle. You're going to be maintaining the same level of body fat. Maybe you'll lose a little bit, but it's going to be a much longer process, but probably more sustainable for you. That's a good option if you don't feel like you're willing to gain body fat in order to gain more muscle. If you are, then you can go through a more traditional bulking and cutting cycle. You're going to eat in a surplus for a period of time. You can train pretty hard. If you want to focus on particular body parts, you can go a little harder in the paint on those body parts. And then when you're ready, you can cut your calories down, get into a deficit, and lose some of the body fat that you gained along the way with your bulk. Okay? There are options for you. I want you guys all to know that body recomposition is possible for a huge piece of the population. The most important thing is that you are eating enough protein, that you're training hard, and that you're feeling good doing what you're doing. I know there's a lot of pressure out there for us to look a certain way, and we want to do the things that, you know, our influencers that we look up to are doing, but that doesn't always mean it's going to be the right fit for you. What I eat is not what you need to eat. The way that I train is not necessarily the way that you need to train. The way that your body reacts to something is going to be totally different than the way my body reacts to something. So you always have to do what's best for you. My goal is always to provide as much education for you guys as possible and help you make informed decisions about your own fitness and nutrition journeys. So I hope this video has helped you do that. If you have any questions, please put them below. Thank you for joining. If you like this content, please subscribe, and you can find me on Instagram and TikTok at Kelly L. Matthews. Have a great day.